into the fire, face up to the empty promise, walk a little wiser, fight harder than you're not, right into the fire, strike down through the burning borders, rains head ever tighter, come carry me forward now. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Out of the hands of fate, I'm tearing into truth. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Follow the future, strike the blade, I'm cutting loose. This is the time that I've been waiting for. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Taku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. Now,
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Shadows of the Neon, the Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle that's being run here on Final Show Films. My name is Jack. I am your storyteller for this narrative, and joining me this evening is Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Sal Moraro, Glasswalker Ragabash Hamid.
And Jeremy.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Aiden. What's my last name?
Taylor.
Okay, I was right. Taylor of Hamid Philodox, Child of God.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing Anastasia Ambrose Metis Galliard Silverfang.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Dakota. She's a Lupus Galliard Uktena.
And John.
I'm John. I'm playing Hekau, a Hamid Silent Strider Theurge, and also I'm sending out the tweet from the Final Show Films account now because we forgot to do that.
Whoops. And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Ingvar Ulfsdotter, the Hamid Geta Fenris Arun.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I am playing Alexandra Core, Metis Philodox Black Fury.
And the next few chapters of this chronicle deal with some very dark moments in American history. We will strive to tell this tale with the utmost respect for those who came before us and who lost so much in the pursuit of their freedom. To all of our viewers, we invite you to join us in lifting up the memory of those who are gone as we investigate a version of their story. But the last time we were in Vegas, the Wings of the Mojave Pack journeyed up a canyon trail in search of Alex's mentors, the Desert Knife Pack, a trio of Black Furies who have left their physical bodies behind to become ancestor spirits in the penumbra, watching over a small wild glade at the head of Icebox Canyon near Red Rock. Reaching them took most of a day on foot over rugged sandstone, but they revealed details regarding the fate hanging over Alexandra, as well as briefly explaining the omens surrounding her birth. And now the pack has returned to the halfway house, knowing that Wings of Ravens will be opening a moon bridge for them to the battleground realm, where they must seek out secrets to help the Mojave Green Sept in facing the threat of the regional administrator. So you guys returned on the evening and have had that night, a night's rest, and then some of the following day to prepare. So let's go around the table and just 2 or 3 bullet points of what you've done to prepare, if anything, and then we will pick up with the initiative of the ritual ceremony at the halfway house cairn. So let's start with Aiden as Alpha. What have you
Go somewhere else.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. We will start with Anya as Beta.
Okay. Assuming no one uses the group telepathy thing, Anya is in her house. She looks into the possibility of getting some kind of weapon, but there isn't really time to attune it, and so decides teeth and claws will be good enough. Other than that, she is avoiding all of this with as much denial as she can muster.
All right. What about Hekau?
Meditating.
Okay.
Because I've only got 2 dots of gnosis left.
All right. You can make your meditation roll. The amount of times you've done it this week, though, you were at difficulty 10 for this.
Damn it. Okay.
While that's happening, Ingvar?
Nope. I fail.
All right.
Probably mostly just physical exercise, one last round around the perimeter, just checking the area, clearing her headspace, mentally preparing.
Okay. Dakota?
Dakota's going to go for a run, work out a little bit, then get some rest.
All right. Alex?
Meditating.
Okay.
So,
I think this is the second time you've done it, so you can roll
Yes.
Gnosis difficulty 9.
Okay. 1 success.
All right, so you get 1 Gnosis as you
Okay.
meditate at the Karen Hart there at the halfway house.
And I go and find Juniper and leave $400 with her.
Okay.
Because I can't open a bank account, and I explain that if we don't come back, use it to buy like a better couch. Damn it, it's the one in there is terrible. It's like slanted and you can't, it's a weird angle. Anyway.
All
That's
right.
what she does.
Okay. What about Sal?
Sal will swing by a grocery store, get the ingredients to make some linguine with some nice sautéed scallops, and then stop by Vinny's place.
Okay.
And see if Vinny is up for some dinner conversation and gun review. Because
which he definitely is.
And then so they will spend the evening eating, drinking wine, and going over weapons. And if Vinny is amenable to it, Sal will hopefully leave with a duffel bag full of various firearms, and then go and get a good night's sleep.
Okay. Vinny will actually go ahead and give me just a charisma and expression roll, I would say.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Charisma and expression. Could I make an argument for manipulation?
If you want, sure.
Okay. I still don't have any points in expression, but that's a talent, so that doesn't have anything. That doesn't impact the
You'll just be
difficulty.
rolling
Okay.
straight manipulation, difficulty 6
Okay.
then.
Good Lord, why am I?
All right.
Let's see what I rolled. So 2.
Yep, with 2 successes, you'll come away with. He will give you He'll let you borrow a sawed-off shotgun, a rifle, and 2 light semi-auto pistols.
Okay.
Statistics with those titles as are found in the W20 book on page 303.
Great. And Sal has 2 Mac 10s. So
right. Himself, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Which just leaves us with Aiden.
Yep.
Then.
He's probably gonna spend he's probably got how long do we have exactly?
12 hours, give or take.
12 hours. He's gonna spend a few hours each just getting in Iskaku and shooting shape, because he's probably a little bit out of practice with both. He's going to that'll probably take up most of the time. And he will probably actually just spend the rest of the time in his room getting drunk enough to sleep so he doesn't have to dream, so he gets good rest. I know that's not how dreams work. That's not the point. If you're not dreaming, you're not getting good sleep, probably. But leave him his delusions.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Now,
And he's going to go out and buy a whole lot of extra ammo for his
okay.
his glove.
Sounds good. Now, Sal, as far as the weapons go, none of these are dedicated. So if you are planning on taking them into the Umbra with you, that would need to be done ahead of time.
Okay. I don't know that Sal is able to dedicate things.
He
Not unless you
definitely
have the right
isn't.
of dedication.
Right. You would need to know the rite of talisman dedication.
Don't you
Um,
also need to do that under your moon?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Who? Which members of the scepter, at least people in the halfway house, are able to do that, other than Hekau, who is busy
I was like,
meditating?
I was going to
Your
say,
theurge.
right. Hekau is able to do it. You could see if one of the new Guardian pack would be willing to do that for you as well.
Do you have to spend Gnosis to dedicate? I think
Yes,
you
you
do,
do.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that's probably why Hekau can't meditate, because he's just getting settled in. And Sal's like, "Hey, FedEx. Hey, you got a minute? How much Gnosis?
You motherfucker.
How full's the tank? I got a bunch of guns. Come on, answer the door."
I'm not in there though because I'm by the Cairnheart.
Right. Yeah. You would have seen him just kind of
It's
sitting
like,
there.
I just like the
near
idea that Sal's
sculpture.
like beating on a door trying to get Hekau's information. Hekau's not there. He's by the Cairnheart.
Out of game question, because this is probably something that we've probably had conversations about before. Does the Magpie swag have restrictions on what can be put into it?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Anything that is touched by the Weaver cannot go into the Magpie swag.
Okay, so guns
Like a
definitely
gun.
not.
Yeah.
Like a gun.
Yeah.
Who is the new Guardian Pack's theurge?
That would be Josie Raincaller.
And they are also living in the halfway house?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the Boulder Hunters pack, which is the new Guardian pack, has taken up residence within the bounds of the cairn and therefore the apartments. And yes, so there's 4 of them. Josie is their theurge.
Hey, Josie.
This will be a manipulation and expression attempt, difficulty 8.
Man, I gotta take some expression.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of Sal being this annoying. Just,
Have you met my character?
I was gonna say.
showing up. Well, but you're being comedically annoying at the moment, but like in reality, Sal being that annoying is just like
Yay! 3 successes
All right.
with my
9,
absolute
10.
I have no expression, so this is just like blunt lack of tact.
Right. Just
hey, we're going
straight,
to the battlegrounds and want some
straight
guns.
annoyance.
Could you help?
Josie, hi. We ain't met before. I got a sack full of guns. We gotta take them to the battlegrounds. You free? No, wait. Don't shut the door on my foot, which is now in the door frame. Hear me out.
Why am I bothering to maintain positive relationships with this pack again?
Because we need someone to counteract that.
Maybe Josie finds me charmingly blunt.
Josie and Eagles Reach, her alpha, are willing to perform the rite of dedication. They will allow you will be able to bind 3 of the weapons to various members of your pack.
Here's other sort of related question. Aren't guns in the category of weavery things that you take an honor hit for binding?
Weapons, not so much. More the honor hit for binding are because Guru are inherently a we kill things type culture. So the things that you'd take a hit for binding would be things like cell phone, tablets,
Yep.
credit cards, stuff like that is where you start to get into slightly guns are warrior enough that you can usually skirt that.
Okay.
And
bit.
even that other stuff tends to be a little more acceptable of Glasswalker.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Josie is not a Glasswalker.
isn't the honor thing like magic?
It's
Also,
it's also the honor of the person performing the dedication ceremony, not the person getting the thing
that's
dedicated
true.
to
That
them.
is also true.
Mhm.
That's why I asked, because it's not really about whether or not
Yes.
Sal's willing.
Yeah.
It's not about
What,
Sal. It's about Josie.
That's right.
What-
That's right. I always forget.
Yeah,
that.
because I took a bunch of honor hits for dedicating the cell phones.
What tribe are these two?
That would be an intelligence and etiquette, or occult, whichever you prefer.
Can I make that roll not because I have anything to do with this scene, but because I'm curious if a cow would know?
You're
from
not
having
there, so
seen
no,
them?
you can't.
I've seen them at some point.
Unsurprisingly, Sal has more occult than he has etiquette. What's the difficulty?
And difficulty would be 7 then.
Okay. So I do have occult. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
All right. You are able to determine that Josie is Uktena and Eagles Reach is Fianna.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you're passing out guns, Ingvar will take that sawn off if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else wants what? I figure we'll probably do a rifle and one of the pistols, unless somebody wants both pistols.
I already have a gun dedicated to.
I was about to say, I bet Aaron's character would like the pistols, and then I remembered this is not the Call of Cthulhu game.
No. As soon as America is able to get legal pistols, America will have legal pistols.
I was trying. It was just in the wrong universe. Okay. So who would like either the rifle or the pistols? If nobody wants them, Sal will take them.
It's also worth mentioning we can dedicate them to one person and then
hand them off. Yeah,
to the other person.
Yeah,
right. It's just that person has to be the one holding them when you cross.
Yeah,
that.
Other thing, Craig, to keep in mind: how many slots do you have for dedication? Because there's a max base.
There is a limit.
Limit is your gnosis.
Yeah, I thought it was gnosis +1. Sorry, it's your gnosis.
Yeah, it's your gnosis score.
Are we counting an outfit as a single item as far as dedication goes? Okay,
yeah. I have 5. I took another thing of gnosis.
Similarly, my magpie swag counts as one item for everything inside it as well. Even
yeah,
than just
that's the.
No, it's just magpie. Like, oh, I can carry all of the guns in the world in. Oh, yeah.
What if you made a whole ensemble out of guns?
It's like
going for the Bayonetta look.
It's like
my arsenal look big in these pants.
It's like the thing where people make clothes out of Magic the Gathering cards, except
right.
Magic
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Cards,
except for it's guns.
So.
Be a true American.
Like a very anime outfit that's just like threads covering the nipples, but those threads are not suspenders; they are guns.
It's like Lilu from Fifth Element, except it's all bandoliers.
I have 2 dots of dexterity and 0 dots of firearms. Do not give me a gun.
So if Ingvar can take the sawn off, I can take the other 2, but then I'm at max.
Yeah, I'm already at max because I've got clothes, phone, staff, gun.
The sawn off puts me at 3 of my 5 because I've got clothes, knife, gun.
Well, your fetish doesn't count.
The fang dagger doesn't. Okay, then
any fetish is automatically
then I am
dedicated and never counts against your max number.
Then I'm at 2 of 5 with clothes and gun.
Yeah, and my cell phone is a fetish. So.
Yep. So you lucked out there. All right.
Clothes and self.
Okay. So yes, Josie and Eagles Reach will spend some of their will be convinced to part with some of their hard-earned gnosis to help you guys get prepped.
Do we know if we're going to have to drive somewhere to get to the entrance to the battlegrounds?
Wings of Ravens is going to be doing the ritual here. You are going to be leaving from here.
All right. I will leave them with my car keys then as a thank you, so they can use my car.
Cool.
Yes, the haunted car that plays Careless Whisper.
At the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And locks people inside it. Okay. So, as the evening draws closer, Wings of Ravens shows up at the cairn, and you all step sideways for the ritual that will open the moon bridge to lead you all toward the battleground realm. Do you guys have any questions for Wings or anything, or are you just going to let him get started? And
I am watching the ritual. I don't know the ritual, the rite for opening.
No, you don't.
How have you done this before?
I have.
What happened to the last group you sent through?
We came back later.
Is this one of those like you die in the battlegrounds, you die in real life things, or
The battlegrounds is real life, Sal.
Yeah, but I mean it's a realm of perpetual
Yes.
I don't know. I heard different things.
Yes, Sal. If you die in the battleground,
yes.
you die in real life.
I mean, out of character, that's super not true. But I mean, do we know that in character?
Hikawa has no idea. He's just saying that to shut Sal up.
That's not the general assumption. Hikawa, it's not the general assumption about the other side of the veil that it is as if not more dangerous as this side.
Jack,
frequently,
is that true?
yes.
Well,
frequently,
just
yes.
Take it as a rule of thumb. Try not to get killed.
I was watching this really good movie, Ready Player One, and it just had me thinking. So
Okay.
That is not a really good movie.
I am out of character trolling everyone in this group.
It's fine. Anya can be offended. Anya's a gaming nerd.
How do we get back?
We find our way.
The
back.
way, or you will
was-
not.
Okay.
Presumably, we're going to have to carve our way out. It is the battlegrounds.
You are too excited about this, Ingvar.
It's my job. It is literally the purpose of my being.
Just Anya, just no. Just Anya, no.
I'm
Just
not
let
even
it
talking
go.
about an auspice.
Let it go. I know what you're about to say. Let it go.
That was a catchy song.
It doesn't say anything further. The alpha told me to shut up.
Yep.
Now is not the time for us to start questioning each other before we're about to go into the realm of eternal murder.
I liked it because that's not what Anya was going to say.
We're in the Umber right now, right?
So yes, you guys have stepped across.
I am going to shift into Krynos form.
All right.
I can't believe you didn't like Ready Player One. Freddy Krueger was in it.
You just shut up, Sal.
I don't know any of the words coming out of your mouth.
Oh, you got to see this
We can
movie. Don't worry.
introduce you to Freddy Krueger.
No.
I'll talk the whole time and tell you everything about
I
it.
didn't botch, but somehow I keep rolling like 4 ones on all of my shifting rolls.
You do, yep. That
Why
that is the risk one takes with larger dice pools.
I successfully
Yeah,
shift
I
to
will
Krynos.
actually shift.
Try
him
that
as
one more
well.
time. There we go.
Yeah. Waiting.
Make it over to Krynos. Technically,
Damn
I have
it!
1 less success, but I still.
Well, one of us is like in 7 different forms in one.
Every fucking time.
Yep, and Sal is.
I got splinched.
Sal keeps throwing out his back whenever he tries to shift.
Oh, my lumbago.
I like the idea.
Oh.
I like the idea that the head went lupus. Both hands, not arms, just the hands went Krynos.
Guys, you gotta help me. I'm Cronenberging over here.
See, I don't understand how you can make that reference and then praise Ready Player One.
Because
Sal likes every movie.
it was specifically a
Except-
statement designed to
Sal is
irritate you.
indiscriminate in his appreciation of cinema.
Except
And-
I will be very clear, Goodfellas, which he has never seen.
Sal, what? What are you doing?
I'm having a problem.
You don't.
Realistically, I think I'm just stuck in Hamid, right?
Pretty much for
Yeah.
the time being, at least.
Having a problem, is that like having a really is it something akin to having a really annoying person with terrible movie taste all the time around you? Because if it is, I can relate.
Sal says, "Oh God, I wasn't gonna say anything," and he points over at Anya. With the thumb.
What was that about
Only
not
what is the
picking fights right before we go into
I'm
an
not
eternal
picking a
battlefield?
fight. I'm not picking a fight.
It
I'm
definitely does not count as
establishing
picking a fight. with Sal.
Dynamic.
Mhm.
This is good-natured bonding about the fact that Sal has no taste.
I mean, knowing your audience, this is like
Sorry,
this is
Anya,
cheerful
we'll move
banter.
on.
But Sal says, "No, I'm gonna stick like this. I think just getting used to I can carry the guns. And let's go. We don't need to talk about it anymore."
I try to shift into
All right.
Lupus.
Anyone who's paying
Oh, this is
attention will notice that Anya has not shifted.
Yeah,
Okay.
I go Krynos first, and then I shift into Lupus, so it's not as far.
Okay.
Ingvar has trouble shifting the first time. Shifts into Krynos, just checks the shotgun. Make
Also,
sure.
I've chosen to keep. I've chosen not to absorb my coat and glasses. So there's just a giant Anubis-looking motherfucker with a pair of dark shades and a trench coat.
Okay.
I mean, Ingvar doesn't absorb her outfit either, so there's just this like giant red wolf Krynos wearing the tank top that just says sleeves are bullshit.
William, remind me, what color is Ingvar's hair? Is it red?
Or orange red.
Okay.
Like it. You can sort of see it in her artwork. It's just like very sort of strong orange.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I do fish into the pocket of my coat and pull out a pair of stones with runes on them and hold them out towards Alex and Dakota.
Well, I'm a wolf now.
Hold them out towards
So-
Dakota. These will come in handy for people that are more capable of throwing than I am.
They're pretty.
Thank you. They turn into fireballs when you throw them at them.
Awesome.
So you are currently carrying. I've given you my last 2 sun's breaths, which are Gnosis 4. Crush them, and for everyone that has a sun's breath on it, because I currently Sal has 1, Aiden has 1, Ingvar has 1, now Dakota has 2. It's a dexterity athletics roll, difficulty 6, and they deal 3 dice of aggravated damage on a successful roll.
Question for the storyteller. Since Sal procured this shotgun, how many shells do I have?
We'll say you've got A box. Call
Which-
it 10.
10 shells? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Technicolor, you go ahead and start thinking now about something cool to say when you throw those things.
Okay.
But once your preparations are complete, Wings of Raven starts a low chant, murmuring to himself in a mixture of languages, Guru mixed with occasional bits of Paiute and Spanish, as he starts pacing counterclockwise around the cairn heart here on the penumbra side. His fingers trail along the surface of the sculpture, and the shift begins there. Fingernails lengthening to claws, tissue and bone expanding and growing under a dark sheen of wolf fur that ripples up the arm and then across the chest. The clothes vanish into the fur coat as his stature expands, and with a popping sound, the jaw lengthens and the teeth erupt outward, his transformed throat now fully resonating the deep growls of this ancient Guru tongue first uttered in primeval nights long past. 5 or 10 minutes pass as the ceremony in the rite commences, and then with a final piercing howl, the Philodox steps back from the cairn, which erupts with a geyser of silvery light that arcs far overhead into the night sky of the Las Vegas Umbra. It's a Luxor-like beam, but softer and more fluid. And now at his full Krynos height, Wings of Raven spreads his arms wide and turns to face the group of you. Run! Wings of the Mojave, run to the moonlight's end, into the past, run to our ancestors, good and bad alike, run to the secrets that will save our sept. Straight paths for your feet I've burned. Look there, your totem leads the way. And with 2 wing beats, Dustbringer has launched himself into this meter-wide beacon of light and vanishes.
Let's go.
Yep.
Following.
Going.
Off.
Dakota's gonna shift into Lupus. And go.
All right. That's your breed form, so you can automatically do that. As a pack, you clamber up the sides of the cairn heart to where this beam of light, almost 3 feet wide, just blasts away into the night sky. And you vanish into it, one after another then. The moon bridge feels made of an atmosphere that is equal parts cool air, malleable ice, and straight electricity. As you make the transition into this energetic torrent path, nearly musical tones just on the cusp of audibility drift past your ears, like an ethereal song played in an adjacent universe just out of reach. Despite the steep slope initially of the light, your feet don't slip, and gravity seems to pull your feet directly against the floor. You can see about 10 yards ahead of you before the silvery murk of the moon bridge fades into an opaque fog. You run. And you run. Hours pass, but your legs don't tire, and somehow you even seem to be keeping pace with Dustbringer, who is flying ahead of you. The slope of the path eventually flattens, and then gradually begins to tilt downward. And then suddenly, you fall. It feels about 5 feet or so, and then your feet or paws thud into dirt. The smell of dust, blood, oil, and rot all assault your noses as you stumble to a halt suddenly at a crossroads. A rough signpost stands at the intersection. higher ruts lead 3 separate directions, forward, to the left, and to the right, each with a corresponding directional arm hanging from the sign post.
I'm looking.
You seem to have arrived somewhere.
What do the signs on the signpost say?
One says the Battle of Stickelstad. One says the Battle of Bearpaw. And one says Massacre at Howlet the Moon.
Do any of those mean anything to?
Yep.
Any of us.
Yeah.
Anybody who has dots in academics can make an intelligence and
Nope.
academics roll.
I do.
I think I do.
I do not.
I'm assuming this is not
Diff.
a finance roll. Is this a finance roll?
This is not a finance roll. This is a history roll. A difficulty 7.
Does analytical specialization apply?
Nope.
You
3
picked a much better specialization than I did. Nothing is ever finance.
3.
2.
I'm not sure if mine rolled.
Yes,
oh, there it is. 3.
3 successes.
There's a lot of 3s, and I got 2.
Okay. The one that leaps out at you, Aiden, specifically, is the last one.
Of course, I know about the massacres.
Howlet the Moon was your favorite bar. The bar you were leaving in Denver. You know exactly where that path leads.
Okay. All right. I don't feel like I needed to roll for that, did I?
You didn't really need to
Okay.
roll for that one, but that one jumps out at you. You
Fair.
are also familiar as well as with the Battle of Stickelstad.
Okay.
It is a historical battle fought in Norway. And it's you remember that there was King Olaf who was killed there by a Get of Fenris member named Torrir Hund.
Okay.
He was the one who struck the final blow against King Olaf, standing in opposition to the Christianization of Norway in the Middle Ages, and also because one of his kinfolk had been slain earlier, and this was a method of vengeance gained. Many of you who succeeded are also familiar with the Battle of Bear's Paw. It was the final conflict in what is known as the Nez Perce War, fought about 40 miles from the border between the United States and Canada, as members of the Nez Perce had been forced to flee in the 1800s, and the United States military had pursued them after there was conflict and the Nez Perce were being forced to relocate to smaller reservations in the Pacific Northwest.
That seemed like it's the one we're looking for, probably?
It does seem like that, given the information that you've been provided, especially from the declamation that was given by Irving Silverstein. That seems to be probably the path that would follow.
So, back over my shoulder, Aiden, point in that direction. It would seem that this would be the appropriate way, though if you desired to take a different path.
Nope. That's good. Let's go.
Does Aiden seem rattled at all? externally?
Let's find out.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Subterfuge.
It's wits and empathy versus.
Subterfuge.
Usually manipulation subterfuge.
While,
Yes.
while everyone else is empathy checking Aiden, Jack, is there anything that is there anything that Hikau would know he should do that I, the player, don't at this point in time?
Not really.
Okay.
You have never been to.
I'm just talking about like for the role of Theurge on a quest in the Umbra in Battlegrounds. Like if there's any like ambient background information that Hikau would be privy to that I am not.
Probably not.
Okay.
Hikau's history honestly hasn't done much with shadow questing himself. He's familiar, as you are, I believe, with the general role of the Theurge in the Umbra. Keep an eye out. Consistently be watchful and do your best to engage the spirit world on behalf of your comrades should the opportunity arise or they not seem.
I'm the wizard in the tradition
mm-hmm.
in the traditional sense of wizard, not in the D&D sense of
Exactly. So let's see. Yeah, what's Aiden trying to pull off?
So Aiden is mostly just trying to pull off. There is nothing remotely of significance off in this direction. And I think the only person who sees through it is Anya.
Yeah.
Defenders win the tie. Ha ha, Mara.
Okay.
Yeah, he does not fucking want to go. He is terrified of that particular direction.
Well, it seems foolhardy to always trust these signs are not simply illusions. We have no better guide.
That's a good question. Jack, can I tell if this sign is a lie?
And Anya's trying to make that seem reassuring to Aiden.
Right.
This could just be fucking with you, whatever that is.
No, that doesn't help because all that makes it. This is it, and it chapter 2 where there are 3 doors.
Not scary at all.
Not scary at all. Scary, even scarier. And they're all bad.
Like Jack, can I tell if the sign is fucking with us? Or if this is legit?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence and occult difficulty 6.
Does my analytical...
No, not in this case.
Can I empathy the sign?
Spirit stuff. Difficulties. 7 successes.
Well, damn.
I believe that's an exceptional success to study this fucking sign.
The most exceptional success. No, this sign is definitely telling the truth.
So accidentally undercutting the thing Anya was trying to do. Cal just responds with, no, these signs are all they are truthful and accurate as far as they're aware.
Wait, left we go?
Straight on was the Battle of Bear Paw, wasn't it?
Whichever direction the battle was, I start walking.
Yeah.
Yep. That one's directly ahead.
Sal will follow. Is it an hour before I get to try shifting again?
You could try shifting now.
Okay.
It's been several hours of travel.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hey!
All right.
Does that leave Anya as the only human form in the group?
Probably.
I believe you're the only one who's currently in Hamid form.
We've
yes.
got two Lupus and 4 Krynos right now.
Yeah. You know what's awesome about having stuff dedicated to you it shifts to match your form.
Yeah.
So some of us Guru are walking around with enormously handled guns, like
just
fucking Liefeld guns.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one that's in the giant trench coat is not one of them, which is a missed opportunity in some circumstances.
I just like the idea that Ingvar just has like this massive fucking boomstick like off the back of her waist that she's just like
Cartoon-sized shotgun.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And as you guys begin to move, you see and hear and smell the sounds of conflict on all sides. Shouts and cries, gunfire, the creak of war machines from ages long past, screams of injury and pain. War is on all sides of you. You see formations marching. You hear the staccato rhythm of automatic firearms, and it's the smoke drifts across. This is a realm of conflict. Every so often, you'll even see individual branches of battle form nearly within arm's reach. There are explosions, dust occasionally, and shrapnel scatter, but the path itself seems somewhat isolated from it.
Question, Jack.
Yeah.
With understanding the particular connections and understanding that the Silent Striders have with the realm of the dead and the spirits of the dead, would it be possible to normally with the rite of summoning, I'm calling to spirits of the elements, spirits of like the various like natural spirits. Would it be possible for a Silent Strider at least to use the rite of summoning to call to the spirit of fallen warriors or the spirit of fallen soldiers? Like from the underworld or from wherever, from Battlefield.
Potentially. You feel like that sort of thing will probably function slightly differently than normal.
I'd probably need to know who I was calling at the very least.
And you would definitely need to know who you were calling if you were attempting to summon a specific spirit.
So,
but yeah,
as we're walking over the mental link, so that it's not echoed out towards anybody. While we're here, if we find any information of a relevant fallen warrior in relation to Silverstein's prophecy, I can attempt to summon their spirit from the underworld. So it seems like with the fallen dead of this place, we will find some information. So keep an eye out, if you would, for any information that would aid in the summoning of the dead.
There's a slight nod from Anya.
Rounded things. Keep it walking.
But as you continue down these sort of dirt ruts that by all appearances seem to have been worn by tires consistently passing over this area, and the path winds a bit, those tire tracks begin to fade slightly into a more just rough, trodden dirt road that narrows And after a couple miles, and as you watch the active battle and conflict quiets slightly, the surroundings and the terrain become a little more wild, a little more reminiscent of less developed country. It takes on a wilderness type aspect. Mountains begin to be visible in the distance. And while the sounds and shouts are still audible, it becomes a bit more difficult to determine where everything would be located. And the countryside becomes a little more open, a little more hilly, a little broader reaching. You can go ahead, anybody who wants to make a perception survival roll.
Important question. Is it considered bright out? Sunny? Or not really?
Not really,
Okay.
no. Daylight, yes.
Okay. And
But
was that perception and...
perception survival.
Okay.
It's visual.
Yes, it is
Difficulty
visual.
of that is
And the difficulty of that's just going to be a standard 6.
So 8.
1 success.
2 successes.
3 successes. Roll 2 8 and 2 10s.
Good.
I'm looking for barren places.
Jack, I also wanted to ask. I know the things on off the path aren't affecting us on the path,
Right.
but do they seem to notice us at all, or are we invisible to the participants?
Not overtly. Surprisingly enough, the battle seems to be drawing the most attention as you guys were passing through these various around the edges of these various conflicts. The people bearing down with blade or spear or gun seem to be commanding most of the attention of the participants. And it seemed like the path itself held a level of separation from the actual battles or from the actual conflicts that were going on. The path was kind of a backstage area almost.
What seems to be happening to the people who die in the battles? Do they just go down and stay down? Do they?
Yeah,
disappear?
they seem pretty dead.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty corpse-like.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Corpseified and gross.
Yep. Little bit that way.
How did I get the most successes out of all of us?
By rolling higher numbers
'Cause
than
you're
everybody else did.
I mean that. I was gonna say because your survival is probably higher, but also that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. My survival is 2. My perception is
Two higher than mine.
As you approach and continue your journey, there's a tension kind of overlaying the immediate area that you're in. And Hakao, you see a little bit of rising smoke off to one side as this narrowing path seems to becoming less be transforming into less of a track that would have been traveled by vehicle, and now more one that's reminiscent of something that would be occupied by animals and foot traffic.
Is that like? Is there a reason that draws my attention? Something that I, the player, am missing, but Hakao wouldn't be.
It seems to be the sort of track that would be closer to an older, less modern type path or road. Yeah.
So,
which is when Dustbringer lands on your shoulder. We are getting closer, I think, to the earlier preparation of the battle that we are looking for.
I'll indicate the path to everyone. This would seem to be a much older path into the battlefield than the ones we've been passing.
Right.
If they're just preparing for the battle, is it wise to go in ready for war?
Ready for war? Yes. Go in and start fighting? No.
I would potentially correct an understanding of the phrasing. I feel older preparation doesn't mean they are currently preparing, but an older configuration of the battle that is ongoing.
I don't
Fair.
understand.
You referenced that they were preparing. They are likely already fighting. It's just that this is an older configuration rather than where we have been passing more modern configurations. This is an older configuration of the same battle that is ongoing.
Okay.
It's not like we're not going to walk in there and they will be like cleaning guns and loading ammo. They are already fighting. Or will be shortly.
And that's when ahead of you, you hear kind of sporadic gunfire.
As if to punctuate the statement.
As if. It's weird how the Umbra works.
Just sort of point.
It's the occasional crack of a shot or a crackle of a few concentrated, and then sometimes a responding fire as well. It seems to be probably about, judging by the sound, those of you that succeeded on your perception survival rolls, maybe half mile or so off the road.
Jack, I freely admit Hakao doesn't know a lot about the battleground.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that he would know, or like to give as a warning, rest of the pack, like don't initiate the fight, or if you walk quietly and slowly, they won't notice you, or anything like that he might know to pass on now that would be pertinent now.
Give me an intelligence and occult difficulty 8.
Okay.
How much do you know?
It's like Jurassic Park. Instead of they only see movement, they only see violent conflict.
Exactly. Like if you don't...
It's like Predator.
If you don't swing your sword around, they
okay,
won't
I messed
notice
up the movie reference because those kinds of movies are things that I know by osmosis.
4 successes.
Well, Jurassic Park is good. It's a Predator that he only fights people who are threats.
Yeah.
More accurate reference. Thank you to the person who sees all of the movies ever.
4 successes.
Yep.
The things that you recall once you step off the path,
Which would be the path we're on.
the path that you're on, because the signpost directs you to particular conflicts, and if you're looking for specific ones, a particular battle or fight, you can usually find it, but you're not in it until you actually step physically off the path itself.
Okay.
At that point, you're a participant in whatever iteration of that past battle is being played out in this cycle of it, because they tend to repeat.
Yeah. Is there a way to know what side of the battlefield thinks we're on?
At that point, no.
Okay.
That is something that you sort of have to engage for yourself.
All right.
So if you're looking for a particular type or side of the battle, you're probably going to want to do recon, figure out which side is positioned where,
Okay.
and try to approach that side physically.
Okay. So it
in order to engage.
Once you step into the reality of the battlefield, it functions like a battlefield, not like a mystical, not like a top-down RTS.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's
yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear. So, again, out loud before anybody moves. Once we step off the path, we will be in the battlefield. Specifically in and part of the battle. It will become real. Once there, it will behave like any other battle. The participants will behave as any participant in a battle would. So be aware of that. If you approach aggressively, if you act as a warrior, act as a threat, they will attack. If we want to pick a side and not have everyone trying to kill us, we should move quietly and look before we leave. So,
Okay, let's scout. That's a fair point. Let's scout things out and figure out what horse are we backing?
as
may seem a strange question, but this is part of the Umbra, a part of the magic. We are not concerned about being seen as we are, gesturing probably to one of the Krynos.
Nope.
Will that be perceived as something, or
it might be? They might freak out because there's there's Krynos around, but we're not breaking the veil because we're not on.
Jack.
I
they might freak out.
That bit.
They might also freak out because there's people carrying around portable cannons.
Jack, would I know if like how the spirits of the battlefield would react to werewolves in Krynos? With 4 successes.
With 4 successes, it'll depend somewhat on how this version of this particular battle is playing out. If it's very close to the actual historical occurrence, which was definitely fought between
humans,
indigenous Native Americans, and the U.S. cavalry, more or less.
Yeah.
Having werewolves show up, well, you don't actually know how the Guru particularly were involved in this specific one.
So the spirits take the knowledge of the form they possess.
But yes, this right. Now, if this happens to be the iteration where the Nez Perce also happen to have, several Roman legions and a couple of a couple of deserters from the French resistance in World War II on their side, as the U.S. cavalry is less the U.S. cavalry and more the U.S. armored cavalry from World War One. Well, that could change everybody's particular approach as well. So
So
we'll have to see what we're up against here.
Hey, look, the U.S. cavalry is using mechs.
yeah.
Right.
So again, following up on what Anya said, the spirits take on the knowledge that the spirits take on the knowledge of the individuals they are representing. If they are normal, average humans, they will have a normal, average human's knowledge of us. It won't be breaking the veil because they are spirits, not humans, but that is something to take into account.
Should the scouting then be as Lupus?
Lupus or Hamid would likely be the best options for scouting.
Lupus is part of the environment?
Yes, but I imagine they'd still shoot a wolf.
Depends on how distracted they are by people shooting at them.
You're not wrong. On the flip side, put this. Most of us look like one side of the battle,
Yes.
and the other side may be hostile as a result, understandably.
Yes.
If it's
That said, I feel like I like the other side better.
if it's that configuration, the other side might it may very well be that in the place
Right.
of
No,
the,
yeah, the different, right, exactly.
it may be that in
And the reverse might be true if they see us as allied with Dakota. Just to not dance around this.
well, it's very possible that it could be U.S. military or U.S. cavalry against the indigenous tribes. It could equally be my people from ancient Egypt fighting against a phalanx of Romans or any number of things in any number of orders or scouting.
It could be.
things.
It could conceivably be the cavalry fighting the Zerg.
Yes.
That's not something we know.
Hikal
But-
says, not knowing what Zerg are, but just says yes anyways.
I'm just saying, the digital web is an umbral realm.
But for going forward and not separating out because that
I think
is dangerous.
I think Lupus form might be the best approach for scouting.
I agree.
All right. So, are you guys sending individuals? Are you all going together? What's happening here?
Probably a
We all
couple of,
agreed that
coup-
we needed a strategy.
a couple of people. An entire pack of wolves making their way through the battlefield will be noticed and hunted.
How many and who?
2, 3 at most.
I
Sending.
I would like to go.
Yes,
that's
no,
okay.
yes, absolutely. Dakota, Anya, and
I might suggest.
go ahead.
Dakota is a capable Galliard as well. She can tell the stories and communicate the stories and see the stories in this battle if it is anything resembling what we expect it to be, probably far better than I. We're not in the battles of my homeland.
You're right.
I do not mind going, but if we are hoping the possibility these will be spirits recreating historical battle and unaware of the magical potential nature of wolves, I might be a bit of a hindrance to that.
You're not wrong. They might
Whatever
just
you
think
decide
it's
is best.
they. So to respond, you're not wrong. That said, they're not going to instantly say, they're not going to have the same immediate skepticism. Something's really strange that they would have if it's modern, if they are having that level of thought. Also, it's either you or me. And you're probably going to be better to go out there. So you two, and I'm going to say Hikau.
If I might offer a slight alternative, I don't mind going out on my own, primarily because I have an idea, not alone. I mean, if I don't mind going out with the group, is what I was trying to say.
Right. Okay. That's better.
That's what I was trying to say.
Now I'm on board.
Yeah.
I was willing to. I was shutting you down right away.
Is what I was trying to say, but words are difficult.
Yeah.
I am capable of finding the spiritual things that we're looking for, but am less than capable with dealing with any particular dangers that might approach.
Mm-hmm.
It would, for a scouting party that has a handicap such as myself, I would suggest Dakota, myself, and Ingvar as the three. Because Ingvar will be able to protect where I will not be able to.
Fair point.
Whereas the rest of you back here will be able to maintain Krynos forms and protect yourselves easier than I will Lupus form.
Fair point.
Also, Anya sort of looks. If we are not in Homid form, our Homid ethnicity is less of a concern.
No, I've already taken. Yeah, if we're staying in Lupus, I've taken that off the table, except for if we need to make contact. So
I feel like that's what Dakota is going out there for, though.
Dakota absolutely is going out there for that.
Dakota can make contact in a Homid form if it's necessary, while the rest of us can maintain our Lupus form.
Eventually, we will need to make a decision, and it is Aiden's choice.
Should I shift to my Homid form, or should I stay in my Lupus form for now?
Lupus for now.
Speaking of, I successfully shifted Lupus.
And
all right.
I will ask for one quick intelligence academics roll from anybody who has it.
I have it.
Yep.
This
is finance.
Difficulty.
It's the war of finance now.
We have to ask difficulty before we roll, people.
Right.
Nobody rolled. That was a shifting roll I made previously.
So it's going to be intelligence, academics, difficulty 8. Nobody's specialties apply unless you've got an American history one.
1 success.
2. 1.
Okay. And this is going to be what sort of potentially pertinent information you may know about the Battle of Bear Paw that might help you guys contribute to ideas of if it's proceeding according to historical patterns, what you might be walking into, in a sense. So, we've got 1 for Hikau,
3.
2 for Alex, 1 for Anya, and 3 for Aiden. 3 for Aiden. Okay.
Yep.
So starting with Hikau and Anya, you guys know that this is obviously between the Nez Perce who are fleeing to Canada, basically, in order to escape a pursuing force of American military. They are generally it's a fighting retreat, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Anya, or Alex, you also are familiar with the fact that this becomes a siege of some sort, where the Native American forces have to dig in and are eventually defeated by the the increased firepower and the environment of being forced to stop and dig in, and the fact that they start to be affected by the cold weather and the lack of supplies. Aiden, you're familiar with the fact that the majority of the military engagement happens over the course of about a day, and then it becomes a more or less the increased privation based on the siege forces the Nez Perce to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a several day long process, with the majority of the military engagement happening on, I don't know, the day of September 30th, and
Right.
then several days going into October before the actual surrender happens. So if, depending on which camp you guys enter, you'll have a couple days more or less before the battle is actually over.
Okay.
Which generally concludes, based on what Hekau was telling you about how the battleground functions,
Yep.
concludes the battle, and then this cycle changes or starts over again.
Mm-hmm. Funny thing, Aiden knows that because that's taught in schools in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Because this is the Nez Perce or Columbia River.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But with that sort of insight being drawn in, this is where we're going to take a quick break.
All right. Back in just a minute. Please sit through these commercial messages. And we're back.
All right. So, having formulated their initial scouting plan, and with most, if not all of you in lupus form, as I believe
Well,
was previously stated.
I've shifted to lupus from Krynos,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going. I think we're Aiden is making it going.
Yep. All valid points. I think I would rather at this point, Ingvar needs to stay back as reinforcements should that arrive, so that things are a little bit more balanced that way. So yeah, the Anya, Dakota, account.
All right. So I will have.
Is Anya still in helmet form?
Aaron, Anya had shifted to what again?
I mean, I'm probably going to shift via. We said we're all going lupus, so I'm gonna make an effort to go lupus, but I'm gonna go Krynos first.
Okay.
Because then I don't have to get 4 successes on a roll I'm bad at.
Right. That's fair.
Charisma and Primal Urge, or is it just Primal Urge?
Stamina, Primal Urge.
Stamina and Primal Urge to shift.
Difficulty is 6 in Krynos.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Yeah. So Anya sort of goes about halfway into Krynos, and then almost immediately there is a really small wolf with what, if you were not familiar with it, would look like a puppy coat. And, antlers.
Technicolor's gonna hug the shit out of you.
Technicolor's
As he says that.
Technicolor's already in wolf form.
Doesn't matter.
In wolf form, she's going to pounce and attempt to hug, forgetting she was in wolf form.
Just
Anya will sort of nuzzle affectionately.
add up behind Dakota and just like paw on butt, like, let's go, come on.
After a few seconds, let Dakota have her enjoyment out of this. Then sort of push Dakota off, do the thing that dogs do that's like nose at to remind you that we have a thing we're doing.
Yep.
Mhm.
I have a headcanon that Anya's lupus form basically looks like an unanimated version of Twig from Hilda.
No, yes, actually that was the picture I posted for my lupus form. Yes.
Yep.
In case stepping into the battlegrounds not at the same time has drastic effects, I'd suggest we all step off the path together, and then the 3 of us that are scouting go ahead. Rather than those who are hanging back stay on the path.
And I want to make a Sound of Thunder reference, but there's no fucking way Sal has read that.
Oh, what?
A Sound of Thunder, the Ray Bradbury story about stepping off the path and crushing butterflies.
I'm looking at Aiden.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Let's do it.
All right.
So,
all right.
And everyone's ready.
We step off the path.
All right. So everybody, including your totem, steps off of this path. And as you do so, it literally vanishes behind you. And you are in a wide field with mountains far distant. You can smell that there is a creek somewhere in the distance ahead of you. But largely, there is a slight descent. And then to the foreground, you can see and hear a crackle of rifle fire. And then further ahead, the plains sort of descend slightly, and then you can see rising a sort of south-facing bluff. And you can see a faint little rough set of earthworks, probably about a half a mile distant, with a lot of scrub and just a faint little bit of trees, but mostly just plains. This is not the desert that you're familiar with, having spent most of your recent time in Las Vegas. This is the chaparral sort of rough scrub of northern Montana. Longer grasses, woody shrub, and a mix of small tree blend of a plant community. And you can begin your scouting run whenever you want.
I'll take off.
Is anyone else still in Krynos?
Nope.
All right, then Sal is down.
Actually, I just realized I did not roll that. So
Yeah.
maybe I am.
I'll head out if it doesn't.
Try one more time, because that was just one shift. And let's not scare the crap out of everybody by being cave wolf.
Yeah, sure. Let's shift. 'Cause I also have it in
There we go.
Sal will shift to Hamid then.
Yeah, try one more time. Yeah, all right.
Getting
See,
there. Couple
This
steps
is
at a
why
time.
you all are going and we aren't, because we forgot to shift form.
Yeah.
Hey, I only did because we agreed what we were doing for scouting.
I'll head.
Y'all don't even know how excited Sal is to be in a place where he's not going to get in trouble for being in the wrong form.
Heading out to scout.
Okay. It's not difficult, so nobody's going to have to roll any stealth checks at this point, just by very nature of what's happening and the physical environment and the ability that you have in wolf form to move on all fours easily and take advantage of the environment. It's not going to be, you're not going to have to roll any stealth checks. Go ahead, and the three that are scouting, though, you can give me a perception and alertness. Make sure you've clicked over into your lupus form though, because you definitely get some advantages on that one.
You get
Difficulty 6.
-2 to perception difficulties for being in lupus
Mhm.
form. Though it does not automatically adjust your difficulty, so you have to adjust it yourself.
Yep. So difficulty 4 for your guys' perception alertness as you begin to move closer and try and get an idea of what's happening.
So still 6 for me because I still only have one eye.
Perception alertness difficulty 4. I have another question, but I need to check the rules on it slightly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three successes again. It's getting weirder.
So I have the eidetic memory merit,
Okay.
which allows me to memorize things in non-stressful situations automatically, but requires a roll. And my inability to spell eidetic, even when I am currently looking at a spelling of eidetic, is getting in my way of. Yeah. So, under stressful situations, I have to make a specific roll. Is this a stressful situation, or am I a werewolf in a battle? So I'm having a Tuesday.
This would still be probably considered stressful conditions particularly for Anya as well, given Anya's sort of makeup. So when you're trying to remember something, it'll simply be perception alertness difficulty 6.
So that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
The way the thing is written makes it sound like I make that roll in advance. Because it says under stressful conditions or involving numerous distractions, you must make a perception alertness roll to summon enough concentration to absorb what your senses detect.
Right.
Okay, it's fine.
So so you can make that roll. You can make that roll now if you want to see how focused you are. Since you are in lupus, you do get to decrease that perception roll by 2, so your perception alertness difficulty is still only 4.
All right. Does anyone know if that happens automatically on the sheet?
No,
I don't believe it does.
Okay.
No.
Awesome. Well, no. Dice, fuck you.
Okay. So you'll still be at sort of regular information absorption levels for most living things rather than your normal perfect recall. But
that's fine. I can.
But you're still able to.
Mm-hmm.
But you've still got the capacity. You're by no means in any sort of blithering panic or anything.
No. There's just a lot of things happening, and I am the meat shield, so I need to pay attention to those.
Exactly. So
to be fair, Aiden did not explicitly say that. I was just explaining what his thinking was. If
fair.
If Anya decides to become the meat shield, that just means they're on the same track.
Yeah, I feel like they're on the same track because we have a lupus in the group, and we're all currently in wolf form.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also our lupus is kind of the essential person that we are trying to get through.
Okay. All right. So, Dakota, you're still just you're just moving forward, trying to keep tabs on where your pack mates are at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Anya, you're able to get a rough estimate of what your surroundings are. Hekau, you're able to pick out several significant details as far as which parts of the battle and the conflict are located where. The first thing you notice is that for whatever reason, it seems that the situation, and if you look in Roll20, you'll be able to see you've got a water course that's running in more or less an east-west direction.
Yeah. Oh, for what it's worth, I am always familiar. I always know which direction is north,
Right.
and I always know what path I've taken to get to wherever I'm at,
Okay.
because I have Heaven's guidance.
Right. The rectangle that's been drawn just north of the creek, see, it seems to be where most of the offensive fire is being directed. You guys are located roughly here-ish.
We're southwest.
Right. So you're to the southwest of it. There is an embankment, an entrenchment of artillery fire.
Okay, so we're not in the traditional version of this.
Well, there's one here, and there's one here. The artillery fire seems to be of a slightly more modern type than you would expect. It's not like Abrams tanks and rockets or anything. Not that modern. But it does seem to be of a more like a 40s or 50s type artillery howitzer sort of alignment, with one unit at each of these X's directing fire toward the sort of rectangle area that I've indicated here on the map.
That said, they're just firing the physical stuff until the laser part of it charges up.
Laser howitzers are, pretty staple version of modern military.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, modern standard. The defenses that have been set up in this rectangle sort of region on the north side of the creek bank seem to be these defenses are primarily earthworks where they've been dug in, and then you can hear on the other side, roughly here, there is rifle fire being directed in this sort of direction, as well as a little bit of rifle fire from some of the attackers in this direction as well.
So the entrenchment is surrounded on all sides, being hit by artillery and
right. You guys are located. I'll shift over colors. You guys are going to be in the green. This is where you guys currently are.
Does the river flow through a divot? Like, are the creek flow through a divot? Is it like a dip in the land either side?
Yes. So yeah. So the creek is the lowest elevation currently, with a rise up on either side. So if you are going to approach the you are roughly at the same elevation as the single howitzer to the east of you.
Okay.
And then it goes down, 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 down till you get to the creek bed, and then it begins to rise fairly abruptly.
Can we see anything of the defenders at all, or is it just entrenched?
You can see where they're located. It's difficult to get any particular details out because they are, of course, trying to keep as low as possible given the intermittent artillery fire.
So
You want to know the most fucked up part of this? They were just trying to get to fucking Canada.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
they were.
understand how
We're
fucked up it
aware.
is. Yes, Jeremy. Using body language to point out anything that I see that they didn't see for Dakota and Anya, I'm going to relay the layout of the information back to the rest with the mental link.
Don't we have magical wolf speech that works in our lupus forms?
Yes, but I don't want to start barking when there's an artillery unit near us.
Okay.
So yeah, like just basically, nudging and then pointing with my nose to direct the two of you for anything that it seems like you haven't seen, and then verbally relaying all the things that we're seeing back to the rest of the group with the mental link. And then after relaying all that information, Aiden, would you like us to get closer and see what we can find out about the entrenched peoples?
This is why we
know what.
One.
I mean, this pretty much fits with everything that, other than the out of time arm weaponry. Everything pretty much fits here. My concern is, do you think you can get close? They're surrounded.
The river dips. Well, the river dips below the level of the conflict enough that we may be able to get past uninjured or unnoticed by going to the creek. Whether or not we'll be able to determine more information once we get that much closer, I can't tell.
No. Here's why. Trying to get in that close. This is a people that are literally boxed in and are going to be super fight or flight, and there's no flight option. There's far too much chance if you are noticed that they will start they will start attacking when there's not necessarily a need for that.
And the other side has no incentive to defend us.
Exactly.
We do not need to get to them. What we need to do is see if we notice anything that may be the involvement of the nation or maybe the involvement of this spider.
Yeah.
As much as it sounds callous, this is not even a real battle. We are not
You're
here
correct. Yeah.
for the cultural history.
Let's see. We can we can see if we can scavenge if we can discover the location of any of the defenders who might have fallen on the way into the encampment, which might give us a bit more information as to the situation.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it as we are right
been-
now, unless there's something really surprising within the Nez Perce camp, the Weaver's probably more related to the military.
We've been tasked to speak to the barren places and the fallen warriors, so maybe finding the dead will reveal more that we need to know.
Jack, I'm gonna do a sort of more specific perception if I can. I'm trying to smell if I smell anything that smells dead or like blood trails where this battle came from, where it's starting to rot. And as I'm doing that, Dakota,
Yes.
wait, you can only check for worm taint. You can't check for weaver taint. Cool. I forgot
Nope.
that part.
Smelling for bodies.
Okay. Smelling for where the dead would lie.
Yeah, where this came from, if it made a motion here.
Okay. Based on where you're at, you can go ahead and roll me perception and alertness, difficulty 6.
All right.
4.
Is this something I can spend willpower on?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm spending willpower. Which is good because I rolled no successes, but I didn't get any failures, so any ones, so 1 success.
With 1 success,
That would be 2 successes because if it's diff 6, you're in lupus form, so that would make it diff 4.
Oh,
So, and one of the dice did roll 4.
okay.
Oh,
2
yeah. Mhm.
successes.
So
I
2
did
successes.
click it as difficulty 4. I guess that just didn't go through.
So 2
Yep,
successes,
that's a
if that
little
makes
weird.
any difference.
So yeah, 2 successes. Yes, you can see that there are a number of dead bodies roughly located. There's a couple of fallen individuals in this area right here as I'm marking, just on the southern bank.
Do I think we can get to there without being in the line of either these guys or these guys?
Yes, you're
Okay.
pretty sure you could.
Out of the sight of the aggressors in the bank of the river, there are some dead. With your permission, that seems our best choice.
Go for it.
Anya's accent is just not cooperating today. Yeah, that's where
That's
I'm
fine.
going.
Okay.
Heading- following on you.
All right.
Following.
Let us know the instant you need us.
So you guys proceed trying to keep as low and as quietly as you can out of the trying to draw as little attention as possible. You begin to maneuver toward the bank of the creek, towards these fallen victims of the battle. And it takes you about 10 minutes, but you manage to get to where you're headed. There are a number of victims seemingly injured or killed by gunfire that are lying in the scrub to the south, and you are able to get closer to them. Go ahead and give me a dexterity and stealth from each of you as you're approaching difficulties 5.
This is where I fail. No dots in stealth, and oh no, I have slightly more dots.
I was gonna say lupus helps.
I have 4 dots in dex and no dots in stealth.
Sorry, what was the difficulty on that?
Difficulties 5.
Dakota,
4.
our ninja.
4 successes.
Also 4 successes.
Hekau are also ninja.
Should make form. Yeah, it's where it should be.
Mhm.
Anya
Fucking
fall on
hell!
stage.
Not a botch.
Not a botch.
Hmm.
Just
Holy
bad.
shit.
Just
It would have been
3
great.
ones in
The
5
two like
seconds.
super quiet, like moving through the shadows. All of a sudden, like Anya slips and like falls down the hill
Right.
loudly.
Ba-doom,
You
ba-doom,
get
ba-doom,
the
ass over tea
distinct
kettle.
sense just being there, you two do, that Anya spends minimal time in this form
That's what's fucking
and does not really understand that, unlike Krynos, front paws are important.
I was picturing like a small white dog falling down a very steep incline, just yelping every time it hits the ground.
Doing her best not to yelp,
Yep.
but probably.
There's a couple squeaks.
Yeah. But they're quiet because it wasn't a botch.
Right. Mhm. But you guys do manage to get down to where you're attempting. Let me see if anybody notices you.
Just scavengers, leave us alone.
Unfortunately, the one that just failed to hide properly has antlers.
Shut up. It's a jackalope. Leave it alone.
I'm pretty
That-
sure.
Hasn't. Okay.
It's just the papilloma virus.
All right. Well, with only 2 successes and with 4 successes on, let's see, 4. Oh, yep. Math wins out in your guys' favor currently.
Yay.
Yay.
And you manage to see that you have several fallen bodies lying here. Go ahead and roll me a perception and alertness. Difficulty 7 as you get to this location and are
Take it.
trying to look over the fallen.
Difficulty 5 for Dakota and Anya. Difficulty 7 for me.
Yes.
Anya continues to be bad at things as she bats dirt out of her eyes.
2 successes.
5.
Okay.
Show off.
As you find yourself there looking over the individuals who have fallen at this location, Hekau, you can tell that of the 4 bodies that are lying here in this area. Oops. 3 of them appear to be of the aggressor's side of the American military. Only one of them seems to be of the defenders.
It's
the
a cyber
the
Nazi.
Defenders, right? The American Fallen, you do notice that of the incoming of the fallen who are on the offensive, they are wearing very similar clothes to that of the aggressors and the scouts who came out of the vehicle that you guys confronted and one of whom you captured. They are wearing that same suit, tie, white shirt.
Gotcha. Aggressors are the
whereas the single Nez Perce dead individual here is wearing what you would consider a more historically what you would expect. And Dakota, you're able to pick this up immediately as well.
Mhm.
The one thing that you notice, Dakota, is that the dead Native American individual that you see here is wearing more what you would consider traditional clothing. Also, his weapon is a single hand axe. He doesn't seem to have a firearm of any sort.
The Native American?
The Native American doesn't.
Mhm.
He was killed by firearm in by bullet wounds.
Mhm.
The American dead with wearing the suit and tie and that sort of thing seem to have been ripped apart by claws and teeth.
The battle is Weaver drones versus
is it
werewolves.
Possible to? I realize that I probably can't because backstory. To like smell if someone is Guru in the normal world, could
Right.
you determine a corpse's membership or non-membership or no?
All four of these individuals seem to be as human as you can be when you're a spirit reflection of a
Okay.
of a
But would that also
of a
be
battle
true?
from almost 200 years ago.
Ignoring the magical, this is a spirit world of.
Mhm.
Would that also be true if a Hamid Guru was among the dead?
If Hamid Guru, they all seem to be human in nature.
Okay.
Although the dead, right, the injuries on the dead drone-like looking individuals of the three dead ones that are here definitely seem to be Guru inflicted. These look like claws and teeth of Guru origin. However, the single dead Native American does not seem to have been a Guru himself.
Okay.
Dakota will just for a moment rest her head on the shoulder of the fallen Native American,
Okay.
kind of like a comforting hug.
Mm-hmm.
Over the mind link back to the rest of the. It would seem the aggressors are Weaver drones, or at least in the guise of Weaver drones. The defenders appear to be natives, though they are not armed, or at least there's no arms around this corpse, I should say. The Weaver drones appear to have been torn apart by Fang and Claw, however.
So everybody who's back, and you guys, I'll draw your little marks. You guys are kind of back here, closer to where kind of Alex's portrait is.
Okay.
Does there seem to be any sort of identification on the on the Weaver drones, like dog tags or anything?
Where you said?
Like dog tags or anything like that? Like
on
the Weaver drones.
If you want to go ahead and give me a
Yeah.
perception and enigmas, if you have it, actually.
Yes.
I have another thought.
Okay.
'Cause this is something that Anya would know a lot more about than me. Exact fashion choices in suits have a lot of nuance to them. How fancy a suit is, what kind of tailoring it has, what exact material it's made out of, and choice of tie combination can communicate a great deal.
Okay.
I understand. I don't actually work in business. I just know
Right.
people that do.
You can go ahead and give me a perception, and I'll say that would probably be etiquette. I
Fair
would
enough.
assume.
What's the difficulty on perception enigmas?
Perception enigmas is going to be difficulty 7. Same. The perception etiquette would probably be difficulty 8.
Is this sight based, or am I using other senses?
This would be sight based.
Okay, so 7 for me.
Never mind.
For on.
A cool idea, though.
That's a botch.
No successes on mine.
Yep. Yep. Hard to, you guys aren't able to glean anything currently off of these fallen Weaver drones.
Man, just waiting for Aiden to give an order now.
GM clarification.
Yes.
Can we keep quiet while speaking in wolf form?
Yeah. You can still, you can use either your mind link or
And
you can
speaking
still, or you
there,
can do,
because
right. And
playing telephone with Aiden is only so useful.
right.
Yep.
Dakota, what do you think we should do now? Sort of nuzzles up to her.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now.
It's okay. We need to determine where the guru here are according to the prophecy. Right, Heko?
Not explicitly. Need to speak with the barren places and the fallen warriors of this battleground, which which he sort of cuts himself off and begins trying to chew off one of the hands of the Weaver drones. Because if I can't find any identification, a body part will do. So I'm trying to take a hand off of one of the Weaver corpses.
You can manage to gnaw a hand off.
Yep.
It tastes very unpleasant, but not in a ooh gross, this is a human body part and it tastes like human body. More like it tastes almost artificial. There's a weird kind of wrong syntheticness to this body. I mean, it's a body, but yeah.
So
Tastes like baking soda.
So
chew
I'm
off the
imagining.
hand and then sort of drop
I
it on the
hate
ground
soy-
for a second. It tastes like soy, and then
I
pick it
hate
back up.
Soylent Green Zero.
so
Aiden, go ahead and
if
give me an. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry.
Keep going. No, keep going.
Um.
I'll have you make a roll later.
So if I'm going to assume the fallen warriors we're not looking to speak to are the drones. Assumedly, we would want to speak to the ones who fought the drones. Ergo, logically, there are probably Gru fighting in the Nez Perce group,
Mm-hmm.
which would make sense.
Right.
There, or they have left by now.
I don't think they have.
What makes you say that?
Why would they have left? There's no we're trying to learn something that we didn't something that nobody really knows about this particular thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or about an alternate. Sorry, I'm not there.
Or about an alternate. This is pack speech.
Oh, pack speech.
Sorry, I should have been clear. This
An
is pack
alternate
speech.
way this could have unfolded if other information that is not known to anyone was known.
Conceivably, but so I'm gonna shoot way off into left field here. It's what I do, but who's to say we're looking at this as if this is some metaphysical, like things are weird here that didn't actually happen in the battle? Why is that necessarily the case?
It is not. It is just magic.
Because they didn't have howitzers on the field at the exact battle
Didn't
that
they?
this took place.
Were you there?
Considering the howitzers were invented in a number of years after it, I'm pretty certain they
By
didn't have them.
humans, not
How-
by humans, not by
This
whatever else that currently use things that are way more technologically advanced than
I
normal society has.
But doesn't it seem weird that the Weaver would be using something that sticks out so much? I mean, the Weaver's whole kind of deal is to, make everything smooth and natural.
The Weaver's bug fuck nuts. That's the whole problem.
I think
If no one has a better idea about what we are actually going to do, I will suggest one.
What
have-
I'm saying is the point that I'm making with this whole thing is I think we need to get in and talk, get in and see if we can find who we need to speak to in that surrounded encampment.
I have an idea on that.
Yeah.
Actually. If we are speculating that at least in this version of events there are Guru among the defenders.
Right.
The calls of our people are ancient. They are as old as our history. They predate this battle. We could howl a call of greeting, a call indicating we wish to aid or wish to speak. We could see if anyone responds. at least then it is, if they are Garu, at least some of them, less likely that they will see us as now nature is also baying at our door trying to rip out our throats.
That's possible. That I'm concerned about the howling giving it points the target directly on us. But
If
it is definitely a possibility.
You can just
I'm
be
gonna
ready
go-
to run if that happens.
Okay. I realize how ridiculous and impossible this sounds. But what if we go into the Umbra?
Jack,
We're technically in a realm that could very easily have its own penumbra because it is more or less a recreation of something that on Earth, and they can be a whole world.
Jack, would that work? The urge knowledge.
Give me intelligence and occult. Difficulty 7.
Anya will say it because Anya knows nothing about occult. I thought we were in the Umbra.
We are, but the Umbra is like an onion. It has layers.
3 successes.
And
3
onion's
successes.
layers all go in.
Yes, we have to go deeper, is what I'm saying.
Actually, boss, that's not a bad idea because you got to figure there were some battles that have been fought on both sides. So if
Right.
you're going to be able to do a reenactment of it, there's like some.
Also, we can go in and we completely bypass, if we can at least try, then we completely bypass all of the mortal part of it, the human part of this, and the only things we have to worry about then are if the drones are passing through the Umbra.
Now it's just like that other really good movie.
How many successes did you get there,
3.
Hekau?
I got
3
3
successes. It's not the weirdest thing or the dumbest. There is a level of umbral sense to what Aiden is suggesting. It could work.
Okay. It could,
and you definitely won't know until you try it.
Right.
Your suggestion could theoretically work. Yes. I would like
Anya.
Those were not the words I expected you to say, Hekau.
Yeah, Jack.
Anya, as you're hearing like Aiden talk about onions and stuff, I'm going to make a decision that this is something that Anya has been exposed to. You hear a crystal four-headed little blue guy go dip down. And that kind of makes sense to you.
I would, however, like to I would, however, like to make a point. The people that the Guru are fighting for lose this battle.
You're damn right.
If we're looking for weaknesses that are hitherto unknown, asking the losers doesn't seem like the correct question. People to
That's
ask.
I disagree.
exactly what Rings of
Isn't
Raven
that
told
exactly
us to-
why we are in Battleground, where the battles are played over and over with every possible permutation of the odds and knowledges?
What?
I know Aiden has claimed this is exactly how it happened, and that could well be. But
I didn't
no
claim.
stories.
To be clear, I didn't claim. I just put forth the possibility as a brainstorm.
What I mean,
If it is exactly as it was, they could still know something they cannot use, but we could, or we could act for it sooner.
The cow.
to finish my thought, we have access to spirits that are in the form of Weaver drones. As I said before, the spirits of this place take on the knowledge of those they represent. I can attempt to summon the spirit of the dead. Rather than asking the people who are currently in a losing position, we can ask the source of the knowledge we're looking for directly.
Is Hakao indicating asking the drones? I want to clarify.
Yes, asking the Weaver spirits that are dead.
Got it. Hakao, Wings of Raven told us to look to the losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said
Directly.
look to the fallen warriors.
These are
nothing-
not warriors. These
They
are
are
a machine.
whether
They
or
are
not
warriors.
you appreciate them or the side they are fighting on, they are the fallen and they were warriors. The dead of the weavers count just as much as the living Guru that are potentially here, and get us in a much less vulnerable position to ask them first. And
Jack,
then, if nothing
As a
comes of it,
storyteller,
we can go
Mhm.
through elsewhere.
Yeah.
isn't everyone that fought in this battle, assuming they have a human lifespan, a fallen warrior?
Technically.
Wait,
Okay.
you can count as a fallen warrior if you die in bed at age 90, having been in a battle at one
You
time?
were a
Bingo
warrior and
probably
you
has thoughts
fell.
on that.
But
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not debating the warrior part. It's more the fallen part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
no, I'm sure that the Guru culture as a whole and but anyone who dies at some point during this battle or in later battles here, at the very least,
Yeah,
these
that.
are all kind of
So,
fallen warriors.
The-
Do I have any sense,
Mm-hmm.
not as an occultist, but as a storyteller, of whether or not that's how you might say that?
Go ahead and give me. Do you have enigmas?
I do not have enigmas. I do
Okay.
not have occult. I have academics.
Okay.
I have performance. I have leadership and expression.
Okay. I will have you give me. Yeah, give me an intelligence and expression. Difficulty 8
All right.
for Anya.
Also, I will note.
Fucking hell. Dice.
Not a botch.
It's a green negative one.
Because you got a
rolled
10,
10
but you
on.
also got a. Yeah.
But
I-
this is the exact opposite of corporate double talk, so it is -1 successes.
Right.
I will also note that the spirit that gave us this prophecy is a weaver spirit, which means that above all else, they would see the fallen weaver warriors as fallen warriors as well. I'm not saying we don't eventually go into the defenders' campment and see what we can learn from them. I am saying that a first step, a good, wise first step, would be to use the resources we have at hand that put us in the least vulnerable position to gain information and insight. This is my task as a Theurge.
I think that technicality is all well and good when you're writing contracts. Who knows what is technically correct when it is magic? But does it do any harm to do this first? To let Takao try his thing?
Drones tried to take you over when you were outside the walls.
Oh. When they
Not
were
that anybody
alive,
gets-
yes.
But I say let's do fucking something.
Can they do that when they're dead?
Heck, how your experience is that spirits are not so much alive or dead as they are incorporated or discorporated.
Yeah.
And when a spirit's incorporated, it can do things. When it's discorporated, it can't. So if you summon a spirit, it'll probably be able to do whatever spirit things it can do because it's been summoned and manifested.
Yeah.
And if you need it to stop doing that, you can always rip it apart.
It could. yes, it could. And that's why there are several others of us here that can rip it apart with claw and fang.
If they aren't affected as well.
Not all of us were affected. In fact, I was the only one who was affected the last time it happened.
Yes.
There are certain procedures when a Theurge summons a spirit that occur. Typically, the spirit summon, though I will grant, not always, typically, the spirit summoned does not immediately attempt to attack or mind control the theurge who summoned it.
Yes.
Aiden, we have all made our cases about the routes we think are best.
Yes, you have.
And
A
the-
lot. Yeah, no. What I was gonna say a while ago was yes, go ahead because it's not the one thing that we have to do.
I'll bring a piece of it back with me and see if I can summon. They don't seem to have any ID, which would make it easier. I will pick up that hand that I chewed off in my mouth and
Okay.
wait for Dakota and Anya so we can head back to the group.
As soon as that part of the discussion is over, Sal said out loud to everybody, "Holy shit! I thought this was the battlegrounds, not the fucking debate club."
It's also a battle.
All right. So the 3 scouts are coming back with a hand.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys make it back to where you believe as far as you remember, you stepped off the path that is no longer there, that does not appear to exist in this sphere, currently at least. And Hekau has a dismembered hand. What are we starting with?
Alex would like to go up and nudge the cow and do a gift
Okay.
for Breath of the Wild. I'm going to roll Gnosis. It's difficulty 5. If I get a success, you get an additional die on all mental rolls.
Sweet.
Because that seems helpful, given what this thing might do. Do 5. Nope. Doesn't happen though, because I can't roll.
Make some dubious.
Carry on.
I'm going to shift back to Hamid form.
I don't think do ones still
Oh, wait.
count as negatives on Gnosis rolls? Yes, they
I
do.
don't know.
Okay. Yep. Sorry.
Is it supposed to be my current Gnosis rating or my...
Whatever your Gnosis rating is.
Oh, then I think I have my sheet set up wrong, because it's supposed to be 4 now, because I gained a Gnosis point from
Yeah.
level it.
Yeah.
level
Whatever
stuff.
your
So,
Gnosis rating
if
is.
you want me to
not your
reroll it, I
current
can.
Gnosis points. Yeah, go ahead and
Yes.
re-roll it. So four dice at difficulty 5.
Yep. Hang on. I can't do... There we go.
2 successes.
Much
All right.
better.
That's slightly upsetting. Sorry, I'm Holly had to take off, so I'm rearranging cameras. And well, Jeremy happens to have been split halfways across his own camera and Holly's camera, and Craig's old camera. So I moved Craig's camera up to merge it with Jeremy's camera, and it's just slightly off.
So what you're saying is we've got an exquisite corpse of Craig and Jeremy.
Well, no, it's all just Jeremy, but it's just slightly. There's like a half an inch of Jeremy's face missing out the middle of his face.
Lovely.
Anyways,
So Alex activates Breath of the Wild, granting you an extra die on all your mental rolls for this next scene.
Yep.
It also adds 1 to the difficulty of any rage rolls you make.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I shift into Hamid form.
All right.
Just do.
Which you can just do.
And I'm going to use the hand. I want to perform the rite of summoning to summon the... So, using the logic of Battlegrounds for what it is, these are spirits that are inhabiting the body, that are taking the role of human bodies, or of humans.
Right.
I want to summon the spirit that is currently inhabiting the role of the dead soul of this warrior to me.
Okay. Let me see here.
Because if it's
I've got
taking
ideas.
because if it's taking on that role, technically it might just behave like a dead person and not a weaver spirit as traditionally, because you have to work things weirdly.
Okay. So you're already in the Umbra, so you don't have to pierce the gauntlet. Go ahead and give me a roll Gnosis, difficulty 5. You can spend willpower if you want to.
I will spend it up.
Okay. So you got 1 success.
2 successes.
Make it 2. All right. 2 successes. So. Interesting. Okay. Neat. So you clear a little space for yourself. You put the hand down. And you perform the summoning. You spend some time in treating the essence of the spirit that you took this fragment from, and trying to get the spirit to manifest as quickly as you can on the location as its former function most recently was. There's a pause and some time passes. You know that occasionally it takes a spirit, spirits sometimes have to travel, or find their way to this point. And then you hear a step and a step. And the body, the rest of this thing that's missing its hand, just walks out of the grass towards the hand, reaches down, sticks it back on its wrist, and you see the form fuse again. And this thing still gaping from the rends in its clothes, and you can still see some of the viscera trailing behind it. It looks, for all intents and purposes, like a shambling corpse. Turns to you.
Someone's pointing a crino-sized gun at something. Or no, wait.
Yeah, I was say we're all in lupus form right now.
Never mind.
Turns to face you, Hikau. And then lunges for your throat. And that's where we're going to end this.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
All right. Say
That's
bye, everybody.
fine.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 And the masts on the sovereign sea. Trinkets of shrieking bone, tainted tokens of the past come to trouble me. Out of time, I go running, as you're running out of time. Storming forth I return from the nothing. I am back to reclaim what's mine. Darkest voids, ever waiting for the chime of the hand at 2. Clocks of a heart destroyed, circulating in the blind as they stand with you. Out of time, I go running, as you're running out of time. Storming forth I return from the nothing. I am back to reclaim what's mine. Keep the clocks a running, keep every hammer drumming. Time will once at the darkest shrines. I have seen despair in the saddest faces. Now I'm back to reclaim what's mine. Keep the clocks a running, keep every hammer drumming.